Okay, as you can see, I'm here in the bathroom. I've got the refrigerator crispator drawer, and it's full of paper mush, as you can see, and cardboard, and a bit of water, and I'm manually mucking, turning that into a good mush. I want to do this in a room where if I spill something I don't make a mess, so obviously, yep, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm sitting on the toilet whilst making my fuel, but if you think about it, this is the best room to actually muck up the paper prior to getting it into the mold. Because I'm using a 2-box system, I can actually make the bricks in the living room or in the kitchen area whilst, listening to the radio if I want. But this stage I prefer to do in the bathroom. Selection of fuel blocks I've made so far. Different colours, different textures, because the type of material I've been using. They're all very good. As you've seen me do a few demonstrations, I'll be doing a few more. But it's solid fuel for cooking outside. It works, and it's made from. Why is it you throw away till receipts, for Christ's sakes? For crying out loud, say keep them. Put all your waste paper in a bag and then make blocks out of them. Okay, as you can see, it's now looking a lot more wholemeal. Now, some videos say you need to soak your paper in cardboard for a period of overnight. All I've done for my previous blocks have been soak them for about 1 hour or 2 hours, and then get in there with your hands. And what you do is you use a clawing motion to try and knead the paper. Literally, you take your scissors and you chop your paper up real small. Okay, you tear it up real small. Then you add the water, soak it for an hour, and then you go through the process of tearing it up manually when it's in the water. Then after a while it gets smaller, and then you literally just carry on doing that. Alright? And eventually it turns out like this. And as you can see, it's much more, that sort of wholemeal type appearance. And that shows you, I guess, that the fibres are getting smaller, the fibres are getting exposed. And what I've found is the smaller, the more you mush it, and the smaller you've torn it up or cut it, the more of the water you'll get absorbed. So you may need to add little bits more water here and there. And if you've got some extra paper aside, you can always add more paper if you need to, if you've got too much water, and so on and so forth. But the idea is that, you can start off by physically, manually tearing bits up. And then just do that for a long time. So, and within about 2 hours or 3 hours, you can be starting to crush blocks. So it's something you can do whilst watching a movie or on TV or Netflix or listening to a concert on the radio. And it actually feels like quite a creative hobby. So I enjoy it. I know it's just like mushing up paper and making fuel blocks, but yeah, making something that's useful. So your time is not wasted. Alright, and this is the result of me using that particular box of mush. Now, some of them haven't worked out all that good, but that doesn't really matter. It's not a beauty contest, it's a question of making some practical fuel. After a while you get a real good feel for how much pressure to put on the blocks, how much water and how much paper and cardboard mixture to put in. And there's just very slightly different properties, so it seems, with different types of material. The more dense cardboards require a bit more soaking. Some of the corrugated packing cardboards require less soaking. And as long as you all muck it up nicely with your hands, you'll end up with fuel. Alright, so it just takes days and days and days to dry, and then that will then go to the rest of my stock, which will help me to have a nice cozy campfire at some point, or alternatively to cook on, and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, hey, that's how you make it, more or less.